You are standing in a room. Someone just twisted your words in front of people who matter to you. Your stomach drops. Two things usually happen next. You either explode and defend every detail, or you shrink and let it slide so it ends faster. Both feel natural. Both are exactly what they want. But here's what nobody tells you about that moment. The reaction you give is the only thing they came for. Take it away, and the whole performance collapses. Today, that changes. A narcissist does not need to win an argument. They need you to react. Your anger proves you are unstable. Your silence by shrinking proves you accept their version. Either way, they walk away with a story. In that story, they look fine and you look like the problem. This is not random behavior. It is a pattern, and patterns can be broken. But here's what nobody tells you about that moment. The pattern only works if you keep playing your part. So let me show you exactly what to do instead. 1. Respond with a flat, short truth instead of a defense. When they twist what you said, your instinct is to explain yourself in detail. That is the trap. Long explanations sound like guilt even when you did nothing wrong. A narcissist will mine every extra sentence for a new angle to attack. So you reframe the moment. You're not on trial. You do not owe a full account of your intentions, not to someone who decided your guilt before you spoke. The goal is not to convince them. The goal is to remove their material. Try this. State one short, flat sentence and stop talking. That's not what happened. Nothing more. No tone, no heat, no follow-up. Let the silence after it sit there uncomfortably. They'll push for more. Do not give it. Repeat the same short line if needed, word for word. This works because repetition without escalation gives them nothing new to twist. A flat sentence cannot be quoted out of context the way a long, emotional one can. You become a wall instead of a target. But that's only part of it. 2. Mirror their question back instead of answering it. Narcissists often attack through loaded questions. Why are you so sensitive? Why do you always make this about you? These are not real questions. They're accusations wearing a disguise. Answering them directly means accepting the hidden accusation buried inside. So you stop answering and start mirroring. A loaded question deserves a returned question, not a defense. When they ask, "Why are you so sensitive?" you respond, "What makes you say that?" Calm voice, no sarcasm. Let them explain their accusation out loud in front of whoever's listening. Most of the time, they can't. The question was a weapon, not a real inquiry, and weapons don't hold up under examination. This works because it shifts the burden of proof. They built the trap, so they should be the ones standing in it. You're no longer scrambling to defend yourself against something that was never fair to begin with. You're starting to notice something here, and it will matter later. But that's only part of it. 3. Withhold your facial reaction on purpose. This is the one tactic that breaks people the fastest, and almost nobody uses it on purpose. A narcissist reads your face before they read your words. Wide eyes, a tight jaw, a flush of red. These are the signals they hunt for. They confirm the hit landed. Reframe your face as private property. You don't owe anyone access to your real-time emotional state, especially someone trying to provoke it for sport. Practice keeping your expression neutral the second you feel the sting. Not a fake smile, not a smirk, just stillness. Breathe through your nose, unclench your jaw, let your eyes stay steady. If you need a half second to compose it, look down briefly, then back up, neutral. This works because a blank face removes the feedback loop they depend on. Without visible pain, the insult lands nowhere. It bounces back into the silence it came from. They're left performing for an audience that's not reacting. You may think this sounds impossible in the moment. It's not. It's a skill. And like any skill, it gets easier with repetition. The first few times you try it, your hands could shake or your chest could feel tight. That's fine. The goal is not zero feeling inside. The goal is zero feeling on display. What happens internally is yours to process later, in private, on your own terms. Here's where it gets uncomfortable for them. But that is only part of it. 4. End the exchange before it becomes a debate. Most people stay in these conversations far longer than they should. They believe one more sentence will finally land. With a narcissist, that sentence does not exist. There is no magic phrasing that earns fairness from someone who was never trying to be fair. So the new rule is simple. You decide when the conversation ends, not them. After your flat statement, after your mirrored question, after your neutral face, you exit, out loud or by action. I'm done with this conversation. Then you walk, hang up, or change the subject without asking permission. You do not wait for their reaction to your exit. You do not explain the exit either. This works because it removes their control over the timeline. A narcissist depends on dragging things out until you crack. When you end it on your terms, there is no crack to find. The story they wanted to tell never gets its ending. People worry that walking away looks like losing. It does not. Losing is staying in a conversation that was never going to be fair, hoping the other person turns reasonable. Walking away on your own schedule is not retreat. It is the clearest signal you can send that their tactics no longer have a grip on you. Here's what all of these have in common. None of these 4 tactics involve fighting harder. None of them involve proving you are right. Every one of them is built on withdrawal. Withdrawing your explanations, your reactions, your face, your time. A narcissist's entire system runs on your participation. Take the feel away and the system has nothing left to burn. This is not about becoming cold or distant as a personality. It's about being selective with what you hand over and to whom. Warmth is still yours to give freely to people who earn it, but control over your reactions is something you protect, not something you offer to anyone who demands it. Here's what that means for you right now. The next time someone tries to provoke a reaction out of you, you will recognize the moment. Not a real conflict that needs winning, a performance that needs an audience. You get to decide whether you're in the room for it. The version of you that flinched and absorbed the blow, that version doesn't show up anymore. You are not the same person who walked into that room at the start of this video. You are someone who knows the moves now, and knowing the moves changes everything. The next time it happens, and it will happen again, you will not need anger. You will not need to shrink. You will need stillness. Stillness is something nobody can take from you once you decide to keep it. What is the one line you are going to use the next time someone tries to provoke you? Put it in the comments below, exactly as you would say it out loud. If this gave you something to hold on to, subscribe. The next video breaks down the exact words manipulators use next. You do not react. You decide. That's who you are now.